Welcome to the 14th episode of the MousekaBros podcast. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm his brother Randy. Be sure to like us on Facebook at the MousekaBros. We will be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to get the latest podcast. If you have any suggestions for upcoming shows or just want to say hi, you can email us at mousekabrospodcast@gmail.com.
If you're planning your next Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Universal Orlando vacation, you're going to want to reach out to me, Ryan Noppinger, with Capture the Magic Vacations. You can reach me at ryan.noppinger@ctmagent.com. This is a no-cost-to-use service to use me as your travel agent. I'll make sure you get the best vacation package or deal for your whole family. I can also help make dining reservations and plan fast passes to make your planning your Disney vacation less stressful and more magical.
On today's episode, we have another segment of Love It, Hate It, and Update It. In these series, we discuss topics such as attractions, dinings, and all things Disney. Today's topic is Disney Valley Resort. So for this format, it's going to be a little bit different. Since there's only 5 resorts, we're going to talk about all 5 of them. And then together, Ryan and I will kind of decide on what category it falls under. Does it fall under the Love It, Hate It, and Update It? So just to kind of talk about what a value resort is, normally they label it by the price, normally on the lower side, kind of your cheaper hotels. The theme, a lot of these hotels are very character-oriented, unlike the Caribbean Beach or Port Orleans. These are very childish in the theme. Their room size is smaller, and then also the dining is different with Valley Resorts. There is no sit down in any of the resorts. So I guess we should just first say what 5 hotels are labeled the value, and that is All-Star Music, All-Star Sports, All-Star Movies, Pop Century, and Art of Animation.
I'll also say I'm very proud. I made an official board for this, so we can mark it off, just in case we forget.
Yeah, and then we can, at the end, kind of summarize what each hotel is.
Yeah, because right. I guess we can't go back in the recording and find out what else we said. But anyway,
that'd be weird.
Just, for our permanent, records and filing, it's good to have. So the first one we're going to talk about is All-Star Music. This hotel or resort averages, it starts at $99 a night. That's usually towards the off season, and that'll be the average for all the hotels we're talking about now. At least for all 3 All-Stars, they'll start at the $99. So Disney says, "Let the rhythm move you at this resort hotel that pays homage." I know. I told you I was going to butcher.
The episode is just beginning, and you are already messing up.
Yeah.
All right.
Pays homage.
It's going to be a good one.
To some of the world's most popular musical genres, including country, jazz, rock and roll, calypso, I don't even know what that is, and Broadway-style show tunes. Large-sized, musical-inspired icons outside the subtle song and dance surprises inside provide a harmonious setting for music lovers of all ages. Why does Disney... I don't know why we set ourselves up for failure on why everything they give a description about is so wordy.
They can't... All-Star Music. It's a hotel that is music. Stay here.
Maybe that's why we don't write them. So first we'll talk about rooms. They have a total number of rooms of 2,000. The room size is 260 square foot, and I got nothing to compare that to. I should have compared it to what room we're now in recording, and then compared it. So
that's a lot of math, though.
I know, and that's as you probably know, we're not good at English or math.
Anything that's educational, we try to stay away from.
So room types. They have 3 different types. They have standard room, which is views of the courtyard, pool, or parking area, 2 double beds, and also sleeps 4 adults. Really tight. They have a preferred room, which is views of the courtyard, pool, or parking area. But it's also close to Medley Hall, which is the main hub that the quick service is in and transportation. So it's dining, shopping, and transportation. It's also close to. They also have 2 double beds and also sleeps 4 adults. The last category they have is newer. I think they've had it for a little bit now, but it's family suites. This is views of the pool, courtyard, or parking area. This has, now bear with me,
Strap in for this.
1 queen bed and 1 twin size sleeper chair, a 1 double size sleeper sofa, and a 1 twin size sleeper ottoman. I could repeat that to you again, not looking at it. Anyway, this sleeps 6 adults. It also has a kitchenette and 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. That's weird. They don't have much to say about that.
I mean, I was trying to tell you to pull. We have pictures of the rooms. I was trying to tell him to pull up, but he didn't do it. So here we are. The rooms, I can't remember if, I'm sure we've stayed at the Music in the past. That's probably what I'll say for all of, a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it was there one point or another.
I'm sure we
probably
have.
Never.
I guess what's interesting to note, at least for me, is all of these all-star resorts still have double beds, and 2 adults, at the matter of 4 adults, I just don't see that happening.
It's a lot of close cuddling.
A lot. A lot. Me and my wife, Amanda, just went on, well, not just went, but in July went with another couple, and oh gosh, in Pop Century. And with the new rooms at Pop Century, it was still a little tight. So, I get making a double bed, making it smaller in the room, but I don't know. It just seems very tight for 4 adults or 2 adults per each bed. It just, I don't see it happen.
It's not a big room at all. I actually don't know if I've ever stayed at an all-star.
At least that you remember.
Yeah, at least that I remember. I will say that. But I mean, looking at pictures from the rooms, I mean, like you look at a picture and it just looks sad. It's sad. There's like no color. It's all beige, except for that hideous green wall that's right there. It's probably gone, but it's like beige. I don't know. They're ugly and small. Like, it feels like a value resort. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you're going and you're going to go to the park the entire time and you're not going to stay at your hotel, that you are using your hotel
there to sleep.
Yeah, to literally sleep, then there's nothing wrong with doing an all-star. There's nothing wrong. But, if you know that you're going to have a day where you're going to kind of chill out at the hotel, stay, go to the pool, then yeah, probably not stay at a value. But there's nothing wrong with these values if you're looking to just sleep.
Yeah. And to the second point was the family suites. It's nice that Disney is trying to make, for more people to sleep there. And I get that. And I get that that's a need because Art of Animation does it so well. But it just feels like it's forced at this resort to where it's literally, it was an adjoining room that then they took out the beds and put 2 sleeper ottoman and sofa
right next to each other.
That's a pull out.
Yeah.
You feel like you're at grandmom's or something, in a pull out, and there you sleep. Which I guess if all you want to do is go to the park and come back to sleep on an uncomfortable sofa mattress, I don't think I've ever slept on a comfortable sofa mattress, but I don't know.
I will say I'm not a fan of these family suites just because, when you start booking your hotel room and start looking into pricing, Art of Animation or, one of these all-stars will come up, but then it'll be one of the family suites and it's really not value resort priced because it's a family suite. So it's bigger, so we can hold more people. So it's more expensive, which I understand, but it's very misleading.
Yeah, on how they described it as a value, where it's a value because you can fit 6 people in for, let's say, $300 versus getting 2 rooms at a moderate for maybe a total of $500-$600 a night.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I got to
So-
say on that
so-
one, Rooms.
Yeah. And I feel like we're going to be repeating ourselves a lot for the other 2 All-Stars.
They're very similar.
Yes.
The only thing that's really different between them is theme.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. But we'll move on to dining. So dining, they have the intermission food court that has breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. This is classified as a quick service. It's open from 6:30 a.m. to 12 a.m. and the price range is $14.99 and under per adult. They also have the Singing Spirits pool bar that has cocktails, draft beers, sangria, and wine, and that's open from 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. They also have pizza delivery, and actually all of these value resorts are going to have this. So I'll just say this once. All of them basically have an 18% gratuity. There's a $3 delivery charge for that, but you can actually get it included on your dining plan, weirdly enough. And that includes 1 pizza entree, 2 single-serving non-alcoholic beverages or alcoholic beverages for guests 21 and older, and 2 desserts. Which I don't know that I would ever want to spend a table service on a pizza delivery, that the pizza is like a DiGiorno that I can make myself, but they wouldn't offer it if people weren't getting it. But anyway, this is open from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. just in case you want pizza at 12:30. I almost want to try it just to be like, yeah, I ordered pizza one night at 12:30, but then how much is that? Like, I guess you got to do the pizza plus the gratuity plus the $3 delivery charge. You might as well just walk down and get it.
Yeah, you might as well. Seriously, is the delivery really worth the $6 that you might pay? And that's only if you're getting like 1 pizza. If you have a room of 4 adults, and what size pizza are they bringing? Because they have the little pizzas that you can get from their quick service that fit on like a small paper plate.
Yeah, it's like 4 slices.
Right.
No, but I think it's a medium.
Yes, but like even then, you would probably still need 4 adults, 6 adults, especially.
Oh, yeah.
You would so.
Oh yeah.
I think it's worth that extra money
We
just to walk down.
could eat this, just the pizza, 2 desserts, and 2
that's
beverages.
nothing.
That's
I can eat that by myself. I have. What?
okay. All right. But dining, all of the value resorts do have a quick service. I think the only time I've mostly eaten breakfast at the food courts. I have eaten lunch there and I have eaten dinner there, but that ranges on sometimes, if I'm flying there or if I'm driving there and flying, or did I say flying? I don't know. Anyway, whether I'm flying or driving there and what time we actually end up getting there, what time the flight gets in to then what time we get to the hotel, and we're like, well, it's not really a park day, or we don't feel like going to the park. We'll just eat lunch and then go to sleep early. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it does look like, at least from what I remember, the food courts being, it does look like kind of they all went through a remodel somewhere in the ballpark of 2013, 2014. I'm sorry if that's not right, but I guess it's just shown how long it's been since we have stayed at an All-Stars. I think for me personally, it's probably one of the last options.
Well, we can just throw this out there now. I don't know when we were going to throw. I think one of the big reasons we don't is that all 3 hotels are right next to each other, which isn't really a big deal. It's whatever. But all 3 share the same bus system. So after like fireworks and a park closed, can you imagine how many people are trying to get on the bus? I'm sure they have dedicated bus. They obviously have dedicated bus for the hotel, and they probably have a couple extra since these are the value hotels, so more people might stay there because it's a little bit cheaper. You don't got to, give an arm and a leg, but just the amount of people trying to get back to the same hotel using the same bus is just absolutely ridiculous.
Just watching some of the lines is
just crazy.
Quite insane. Yeah. So moving on to recreation, what they call recreation. So first we'll talk about the pools. They have two pools. The first one is the Calypso pool. This one has 3 caballeros. I probably butchered that.
Yeah,
but basically
he's taken 18 years of Spanish and didn't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So this pool is holds 251,000 gallons of water. The whole pool is shaped like a guitar, which is pretty cool. And then it has a fountain in the middle that shoots water at nearby swimmers. They also have a piano pool that has 106,000 gallons of water. I don't know why I thought it would be interesting to put the
How many
gallons
gallons
of
is
water,
there?
but I guess that really gives the listener an idea of how big this pool is. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
of course, by
Sorry, that was sarcasm.
he just gave me the hardest stare down. Like, yeah, I'm gonna know how big the pool is if you say 106,000 gallons. But at least I thought it did. Okay, so if you liked it, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
well, it's like because I drink 12 gallons of water a day.
That's
you
a lot of
times
water.
that by 60, you carry the 7. Now I understand how many gallons. Nobody knows how many gallons it is.
I do.
All right,
Anyway,
sorry that burst your bubble.
back to the piano pool. Go figure. It's shaped like a grand piano.
What?
Yeah, and also it features black and white keys that I don't think make music when you step on them.
So that's depressing.
That's disappointing.
That's probably the best part.
So they also have movies under the stars, which is basically just Disney films on select nights, located outside, of course. And this one is by the intermission food court, kind of as soon as you exit the intermission food court going to your room. They also have a jogging trail. They pretty much all do. And all it pretty much says is just it's 1 mile. They all have playgrounds. So this one has a playground. They also have an arcade, which this one's called Notable Games Arcade.
So since the 3 caballeros are there, and it's the Calypso pool, is Calypso just like Spanish music?
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
I don't know,
now,
like
but-
that. Yeah. So the statue in the Calypso pool of the 3 caballeros is pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty legit statue. It is small compared to everything else around it, but just kind of having it almost in the middle of the pool it looks like in the middle from the pictures. But that's pretty cool. It's like a saving grace. And then the piano pool, I wish it would make noise. That'd be really annoying though, because like
ding, ding, ding.
like all the time. That was a horrible piano.
Insert piano noise
Wow, that
here
was
because
bad.
I'm not a
Alrighty.
good piano noise maker.
Yeah. It does seem, we'll continue to read, but like almost every All-Star has this movie under the stars. I think almost every resort has that.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much all of them do, which is honestly a really cool idea.
No,
it
I
probably
like it.
doesn't cost them that much to do it, especially because they own all the Disney movies. But it's a nice way, I guess, to come back. Me personally, I don't like to go back at night because
I'm tired.
I'm staying till fireworks.
Yeah, right. You're not going to go
and
back.
And the movie's
right.
right around that like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock
Right.
range when
For
fireworks
the
will be
kids-
going on.
Yeah, for the little kids that
Yeah.
get tired and probably shouldn't be there for fireworks, but parents force them and they're all passed out and start crying when the fireworks happen. I'm not angry.
Yeah, that'll be that'll be our kids.
That'll be our kids,
Yeah.
like our kids.
Yeah, probably yours too. Yeah.
Right.
Drag them out until. Why not? They got to learn.
Okay, I'm not going to drag them.
They got to learn. They're gonna learn.
All right, I'll drag them. You talk me into it.
Or wheel them around in one of those big carts, at least.
Or a stroller. That's also a word.
Yeah. Well, have you seen like the big wagon things?
I've seen a big wagon. Yes, I've seen a big
it's
wagon
like
before.
a wagon like.
You ever see
stroller.
that thing that's got 4 tires with an engine? I don't know what it's called. Some people say a car.
I don't know why I talk.
Anyways,
I really don't.
Moving on to the next All-Star, and that is the All-Star Sports. Again, it's averaging $99 a night. And get ready for this, because Disney says get in the game at this resort hotel that salutes the world of competitive sports, including baseball, basketball, football, surfing, and tennis. because that's all the sports that most Disney fans can name. Go the distance, and don't be afraid to celebrate your inner fan with sporty decor starring some of your favorite Disney characters. So each room is 260 square feet, because in case you have a ruler with you and you want to measure that out.
Well, if you took the circumference of...
I don't think you take the circumference. That's a circle. This is square, so that's why it's square feet. Anyway, I actually don't know if that's true. Don't fact check me. So the room types, they only have 2 rooms. They only have the standard room and the preferred room. So the standard room has views of the courtyard, pool, and parking area, 2 double beds, and sleeps up to 4. The preferred room has everything else except that it's close to Stadium Hall, dining, shopping, and transportation. Again, Stadium Hall is like the Melody Hall. It's kind of up near the front, near the bus stops.
Near check-in.
Yeah, check-in. Like Stadium Hall is the diming. The diming. What's a diming? Is where the dining and shopping area is. So if you wanted to be closer and not walk far, you get a preferred room.
Yeah, and again, looking at pictures... Just dated. It's absolutely still dated. And I guess you can tell it's dated right off the bat because it's carpet. Especially because a lot of the newer rooms are going to like hardwood and tile.
We jumped forward.
What?
We forgot to label what the first All-Star is.
Oh, we didn't?
No.
Well,
I like it. We'll do all the All-Stars because they're roughly the same, and then we'll talk about them.
Much going to all be the same.
Yeah, but the rooms are pretty much the same. They have like a bathroom, 2 beds. They have the TV stand. I mean, the picture we're looking at has a very sad TV stand. There's a table and chairs that's probably never been used except for luggage.
Yeah, probably just beat to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much, again, to say about the rooms that we haven't said already with the other rooms. I think it is the movies that has started like the same kind of remodel that Pop Century has, that it needs to catch up to sports and music.
Yeah.
It's, I think once they do that, and, maybe the answer is, they upgrade it to the queen beds. Maybe they will find more reason for guests to stay there. Unless you don't want to be surrounded by a Brazilian tour group or any other tour group that has 15 or 500 people in it.
You think like Tom Brady stays at the All-Star Sports?
I bet he did. I bet he did.
Because they won the Super Bowl, and it's a sports hotel, and he plays a sport.
Yeah, because we would have heard about it, because he would have bought out all the rooms.
He would have bought He would have
just
bought
to sleep in all of them.
Every single room.
Actually, I heard after he stayed in one of the rooms, the mattress was a little low on air. That's horrible. That didn't even make sense. They don't even have air in the mattress. That's the only thing I could think of.
I liked it, though. I liked it. All right. So let's move on to the dining. They have an end zone food court. They couldn't just call it food court or something.
No. Well, that's for everything
I know.
that Disney has on this.
That's a different topic.
They just can't call it a pool bar?
I mean, they can. So the end zone food court has breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night snack, I'm assuming. These are really good notes. Thanks for typing them up, Ryan.
You're welcome.
That is a quick service. It opens 6:30 a.m. and then closes 12 a.m. And it's roughly around $14.99 or under per adult. There's the Grandstand Spirits. Is that the pool bar?
Yes.
Okay. How did I know? Cocktails, draft beers, sangria, and wine are served here. It's open 11 a.m. through 12 a.m. Then they also have pizza delivery that is 5 to 1. I mean, if you haven't already, there is definitely just a pattern here that they have kind of like the same stuff. They just call them whatever their theming is. So, I mean, is it original? No. Does it work? I guess. It's not fun, though.
They all kind of have the same food feel too in the food court. It's all hamburgers, chicken, baked goods, pizza, pasta, ribs, sandwiches, grab and go, like pastries.
Yeah, like ribs, like stuff you would want to grab from a quick service.
Yeah, because why not? But again, to me, it's all stuff I can grab in the park. So if I've eaten it in the park all day, why would I want to?
Right. It's not special at all.
Yeah,
not special.
And honestly, the breakfast at all the food courts are. I feel like that's why these food courts were a thing, because breakfast. I don't imagine many people
agree, because we
going
always,
back for lunch or dinner, but
right, because we always grab breakfast real quick, because you're not going to make breakfast, obviously. Yeah, there may be a day that you grab breakfast in a park. Like I know we've went to Starbucks or Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom, like for a breakfast meal, but that's like a special breakfast meal. Anything else, I feel like you're gonna go to this, these quick services real quick at the hotels and grab like cereal or like some eggs, use a snack and grab a pastry that holds you over until you get to your big lunch.
Yeah, and that's about it. I mean, yeah, if you're usually hungry, you can. I think they have I think it's like a generic like bounty breakfast that has like eggs, bacon, sausage, Mickey waffles, some type of potato thing, which is all pretty standard too for a quick service. But you got to eat in the morning, so you're not going to wake up at 5:30 or 6 a.m. every morning and go to Chef Mickey's.
You could. It'd be expensive.
Do you remember the one? Oh gosh, I think it was when after you graduated high school, and the only reservation I could grab for like Chef Mickey's was like, I think it was like 6 a.m.
Yeah, we were like one of the first ones there.
Yeah, and we weren't hungry at all.
like you said to eat because we didn't have any other breakfast.
We just went to Chef Mickey's just to do Chef Mickey's to say we did it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we finished and we're like, well, now we have 3 hours till the park opens. What do you want to do?
Because I'm not hungry at all.
All right, so moving on to the recreation. It has the jogging trail, which is 1 mile playground. They have another arcade called Game Point, but the pools. I think the last one only had 3 pools, and this has just 2. I think. I don't know. I can't remember what we just talked about. I think they both have
and
2.
The 2 pools.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Anyways, the 2 pools are the Surfboard Bay Pool, which is 242,000 gallons, in case you have that many gallons around.
In case you have a gallon of milk in the back of your car and
then imagine it 242 times, 1,000 times. It's themed like a beach featuring 3-story surfboards lining the pool area. They have a Grand Slam pool, which is 19,000 gallons. It's shaped like a baseball diamond with Goofy on the pitcher's mound. They also have the movie Under the Stars on select nights on the football field. So this one is not by the pool.
Yeah, no.
Which is interesting. Their pools are okay. They are very boring, though. I mean, other than the Goofy, and we don't have a picture of it. Oh, is that it right there?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a small Goofy.
Yeah.
So,
but again, I like the baseball shape of it.
Yeah,
and
I like
that's
the
what you
diamond.
get a lot with the value resorts is they pretty much all have a pool that is shaped as something, which is cool, but it's cool for about 5 seconds. When you look at it, and you're like, oh, that's a
cool.
baseball diamond. That's cool.
I'm gonna go do something that's not here.
Yeah, and that's about it. The moderates is where you start to get like a smaller slide, that connects to the pool. These are just to have a pool for the resort to please the masses.
So I will say that their football field is actually kind of cool and unique. I mean, there's touchdowns there, and there's Mickey, like the hidden Mickey figure is on the field, and then there's like giant helmets. So that's actually kind of cool because it's like a nice area that you can go run around and stuff. I don't know if you're doing that at a hotel, but like the idea behind it is really cool, and it looks good. It doesn't look outdated. It doesn't look like it doesn't fit. Yeah.
And I wonder if Disney were to maybe pair with like ESPN with this one, like throw in more of those things. I guess it's all kind of generic, like football, because it's you can't go. I guess they can't. I mean, well, they don't have license to NFL or the baseball term. MLB is what I was searching for.
Right. And I get that, but you at the same time you don't want to have, they're in Florida, so for football it would be the Miami Dolphins or the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? You don't want to have that because the people coming to Disney aren't necessarily from Florida. I mean, we're from Maryland, so when we go, we don't want to see other teams there. Now, I'm not saying you want to have like 32 helmets of football everywhere, but that's crazy. But I do like that it is generic and, they're very colorful, not very oriented towards one team.
Yeah. It is all very generic. I'd just be curious to see like what that would do. I mean, would more people go? I feel like it would entice the more people that are into more of the sport.
See, I hear what you're saying, but the problem is if you were to do that, it only takes one person, and you would get that one person that would be at the Grand Slam bar, whatever it was, and gets too many drinks in him, and then goes and does something to, the enemy's helmet, and ruins it for everybody. So, that's why,
maybe kept it like generic on the outside, but maybe on the insides of the room. I mean,
but then what if you get a room that you don't like?
Well, no, if it was more towards like NFL, and then they had all of the teams on a wallpaper border, I'm sure they have that somewhere.
Okay, like I'd be down with that if like it was a football room and there was every team was on one picture, so then there's no favorites. But even then, somebody is going to think they're funny and draw like an X over one team. All right, then they got to replace that. I don't know. It's just too much money.
Yeah,
like I do get it.
Yeah,
I do get it.
Just trying to mix. It'd be interesting to see that mix.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. I just don't think it would go over well, and that's why I think they haven't done it yet.
Well, and this compared to, like, if you compare it to music, like, at that resort they have Disney music elements for Broadway and stuff like that. Movies, well, of course, I mean, they have Disney movies that are represented there. But sports is kind of like that. They have Goofy on it, and that's about it. Yeah.
All right, so moving on to our third hotel, the All-Star Movies. Ryan, take it away.
All right, so this one starts at an average of $99 a night. Disney says, imagine yourself sharing the spotlight with some of your favorite Disney friends as you headline your very own All-Star adventure. Stay at a Disney resort hotel that salutes the legends of Disney films, from the dotted pups of 101 Dalmatians to the playful toys of Andy's room. This resort has 1,920 rooms on the room square foot, as the rest of them are 260 for reference. They have two room types, just like sports did, a standard and preferred. The standard is the same, the views of the courtyard pool, parking area, 2 double beds, sleeps 4 adults. And then the preferred has the same exact thing, though it's just closer to Cinema Hall, which is the main hall with check-in and transportation stuff, and then dining and shopping that it's also close to. Again, all standard. I think actually this one is more of the one that has, I think they might be still in the middle of the refurbishment, that the rooms
are starting to look nicer.
I think, I can't remember what All-Star movie or what All-Star resort it was, but I think one of them is starting to move into that transition with the rooms. But again, I think we've said it with all the other rooms, they're pretty much all the same.
I mean, it's basically they had one blueprint and they didn't know what to call the hotel. So then someone came up with a genius idea and said, oh, well, let's call that the Music Hotel. And someone's like, no, I like the Sports Hotel. The third person goes, no, I like the Movie Hotel. And then the CEO was like, well, why not all three? And let's place them right next to each other and just call everything different. So it's like they're all pretty much the exact same layout, just with different names.
Yeah. I will say, out of the three of them, movies are the ones, at least that interest me more, because it does have larger than life sized figures outside of them. Like one of them has, Woody outside with Rex and Buzz, right outside of the room. The steps are the soldier bucket, which is cool.
Right, and then you have like the 100 Dalmatians, which, it has all the 100 Dalmatians and like a TV, and then, there's also the Mighty Ducks near the pool. It's just, there's a lot more to look at. It's very pleasing to the eye. It's when you look at this and then you turn the corner and you're like, oh, look at that. There's more to kind of see, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, so moving on to dining, again, pretty much like all of them, they have a food court that has breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. It's also a quick service, open 6:30 a.m. to 12 a.m., $14.99, same as the other ones, and under per adult. They also have the Silver Screen Spirits Pool Bar, which serves cocktails, draft beers, sangria, and wine. It's open 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., and then there's also a pizza delivery option. That, like we've said it before,
there's not much to talk about. It's the same stuff I wouldn't eat here for lunch or dinner.
Yes, no, I think at all these places it'd be, a quick breakfast, quick snack, and move on, and that's about it.
And now we're going to move on.
Yeah. So, moving on to recreation. Again, they have the movies Under the Stars. This one is outside of the food court area. There, they also have a jogging trail, a playground, and an arcade called Real Fun, spelled REEL, Fun, in case... Anyway. Yeah, so, this one again has two pools. The first pool, Fantasia Pool, which is 231,000 gallons of water, inspired by the classic Disney movie Fantasia. This sprawling pool was home to a Sorcerer Mickey fountain, which actually looks pretty cool. He's kind of in a curtain thing on a show, like it looks like he's putting on a show,
right? Like putting on a movie.
Yeah, again, which is it to me. Again, this makes this resort stand out.
Yeah, no, because he even he's in the motion as if he's lifting the waves up, and those waves are actually fountains. So like it all makes sense and plays in, which is very nice.
The second pool is the Duck Pond Pool, which is 105,000 gallons of water. This one, of course, is based off of the Mighty Ducks film, and it resembles a hockey ring. Which, again, it's a square pool.
Yeah, it doesn't... like, the outside of it is painted like a hockey ring, and the pool's square in the middle. Yeah. So that's misleading.
That's about it. So that sums up all three All-Stars. All right. If we had to rank, now we have to rank each one.
Well, not rank, but we have to put it into a category.
Overall.
So, let's just start at the beginning with All-Star music. What are your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, for all the All-Stars, I want to say updated. For all three of them, can we... I mean, I know we can do that, but like, I guess if I had to put a love it on one of them, it would be All-Star movies.
Yeah, I agree. You want to agree to that?
Yeah, okay. If we had to stay at one of the All-Stars, it would be movies.
And I'd be okay with that. All right,
okay.
So let's put that as
let's put a love it for that.
So my next one is sports. I think that it should be under the updated category because it's cool. There's a lot of stuff to look at. The football field and the pools. You got goofy pitching. But it's just, there's something missing. I don't know what it is, but I feel like if it just had like a couple more things, it would be pretty cool, just like the movies.
And is it that it needs more, dare I say it, IPs? Right, more characters, at this resort, other than resembling sports. I mean, Goofy had some shorts in it, like about sports and stuff like that. Yes, learning how to play football and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
All right, so I think that's updated.
I almost want to say hate it, but
I'm gonna give it updated because there's a lot of saving graces with it. Just the football field and how it looks. That's my saving grace. Is that you're not going to get rid of it. Yeah. If it had more IPs, like you said, I think it would be up there. Okay. Now for music, I think this is just a hate it. I don't. There's nothing there. They have like instruments. The only saving grace is the Three Caballeros there. That statue is pretty cool, but it's also a small statue, and I feel like they just kind of took something that was music and put it in there, and it doesn't fit. I feel like I don't know if it's just the theming that doesn't work as a hotel or if it's just the hotel itself that doesn't work, because there's already 2 other versions of this hotel that kind of do it better.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess we should give one of them a hate it, and music would probably be the last out of the 3 of them that I would stay at. You know, I think maybe they could improve on music Disney has so much classic music and now current music and Broadway music that they could refresh this whole resort with and make it more lively, just almost as much as the movies.
Yeah, I agree. So let's give that a hate it.
All right.
Moving on to Pop Century. We're gonna speed around this because we're running a little long. So Pop Century, it actually is an average of 116 a night. Disney says experience the unforgettable fads of 1950s through 1990s all over again, from yo-yos and Play-Doh to Rubik's Cubes and rollerblades. This resort hotel salutes the timeless fashions, catchphrases, toys, and dances that captivate the world through the decades. It has the max per person room. You can fit a max of 4 people in the room. 2 if you're booking a king room, because the king room only comes with 1 bed. It has 2,880 rooms, and that is more than the other ones, the All-Stars. So there's actually 4 types of rooms. Kind of. So there's the standard room, which has views of the hotel and parking areas, 1 king or 1 queen bed, and 1 queen-size table bed. Oh, right? What's a table bed? Anyways,
That's a Murphy bed.
Awesome. It sleeps up to 4 adults. Then you have your preferred room, which has views of the courtyard or landscaping, close to classic hall, dining, shopping, and transportation, 1 king bed or 1 queen-size table bed, and 1 queen bed. Sleeps up to 4 adults. Then you have the standard pool view, which is just a standard room with a pool view, and the preferred pool view, which is a preferred room with a pool view. So, I mean, they're a little bit bigger rooms because I lied. They're 260 square feet. So they're the same size room. Well, I guess I shouldn't speak before I read. So that's fun. They're like the same rooms as All Stars, pretty much, except they're Pop Century.
Size-wise, yes, they are a Pop Century, but they have gone through what I think is a great remodel, at least for myself. I have stayed in these rooms twice. Once in a king-size room, which with 1 king-size bed in the middle of this room, almost felt empty. With the 2 queens, it is tight. It is tight
today.
But it is a cool idea that it's a Murphy bed, so you can have a table and then it pulls down and then it's a bed. But the problem is when you have it up as a table and then you start putting stuff here, then you get back to your room at night and you're exhausted. You have to clear everything off.
And then get the bed down.
And then you got to put the chair somewhere. But though if you have the bed down all the time while you're there, like in the room getting ready, then it doesn't necessarily block the door from opening, but it's just really close. It's really tight.
All right, so kind of jumping to dining, and that's everything pop, shopping, and dining, which is the quick service, breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night. It's open 6 a.m. to 12 a.m., which is interesting because that's actually 30 minutes earlier than the All-Stars, because All-Stars opens at 6:30.
Doing this and typing all this up, I was actually very interested that some of them had very different times. Like all of the bars all have different, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's different.
So then you have the Pedals Pool Bar, which serves cocktails, drafts, beer, sangria, and wine. Open 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. and pizza delivery 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Again, it's not the same layout because of the pools, which we'll get to in a second, but it's the same feel. Like it has a quick service and it has a pool bar. It's just what the other ones had.
Yeah.
Cool.
But at least this one has 3.
Right. What? We haven't talked about pools yet.
No.
Okay. we're
way
going to
too
the
far.
recreation, and we're going to start with pools.
I
There's
heard-
3 pools here.
I heard the pool bar. I was all about the pool.
He's zoned out. There's the Hippity Dippity pool, which is 235,000 gallons, which is flower shaped with water jets and the 1960s feel. Okay, it doesn't have that feel. It just has like peace signs and flowers and people dancing around it.
That's the feel.
All right. There's the bowling pool, which is a 144,000 gallon pool shaped like a bowling pin, and the computer pool, which is shaped like a computer. Go figure.
Which is it's basically just square.
Yeah, it's
with keys at the bottom.
Yeah, square. They have the movie Under the Stars, which is located outside the Hippity Dippity pool, a jogging trail, the playground, and the Fast Forward arcade. Again, it's just the All Stars, but with a different theming.
Yeah, it feels like overall for this resort, it is a copy paste, but it's a copy paste plus one, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like I guess they learned from the All Stars and okay, yeah, let's not build 300 of these, which I guess I will say is an interesting fact because they were going to build another kind of side to this whole entire resort. So on it's called Hourglass Lake there. And it has a bridge to it, which actually links now to Art of Animation Hotel. Well, before it's called Generation Gap Bridge. So it was actually going to have everything from the 2000s and on. But by the time Pop Century was done, actually September 11th happened, and travel declined. So Disney didn't want to put all this money into the generation. I can't remember the name off the top of my head what it was going to be called, but all the money into more rooms if no one was traveling to Disney. So it kind of just sat there, and actually that's where. Coming up is where now the Little Mermaid rooms are, because they started actually to build rooms there and then they just stopped and just left it. Just
all right. For me, this one would fall under an updated, just because it's again copy paste plus one, but it's not done well. I think Pop Century is on a lower level than All Star movies. The only difference is that it has its own bus stop. So the transportation is better. Plus, it will get a gondola. But I still think like the pool and rooms need an update. Even though the rooms are being updated, like the pool and just the aesthetic of everything needs an update.
Well, the rooms are all done. This was the first resort that had the rooms. Surprisingly, out of all of them, I would have thought All Stars would be the one.
No, I definitely misspoke with the rooms. I mean,
to get it first. But I like the rooms. I like the clean cut. It doesn't make me feel like I'm in some motel. It's very all white, clean cut, bathroom vanity and showers and cabinets and stuff like that. So I like that. To say how far it's going to go within 5 years, is it going to look like just like they didn't upkeep it? Which I know they upkeep stuff, but is it going to look like stuff's peeling off the walls and stuff like that? And yeah, the Murphy bed was cool, but I feel like I'd have to stay there again to get a full feel for the Murphy bed. I do like that they're doing the rooms, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would say updated.
What would you say?
I kind of like it. I love it. I out of all of the resorts. Out of all of the value resorts that I would pick, I would stay at Pop Century, hands down.
All right, I'll give it to you. It's I think for me it's the transportation, because it's still a value resort, but you get that transportation, unlike All Stars. So I'll give it love it.
Okay.
Moving on to our last one.
which is Art of Animation. So this one averages $136 a night, which is kind of misleading, but we'll get into that. So Disney says, be surrounded in the artistry, enchantment, and magic of Walt Disney and Disney Pixar movies. Stay at a Disney Resort hotel that invites you to explore the storybook landscapes seen in such classics as Finding Nemo, Cars, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. From delightful themed family suites to detailed courtyards, Disney's Art of Animation draws you and your family into become a part of some of your animated favorites. Why Disney? Why are you
just
so
say
wordy?
It's Art of Animation. There's animated movies here
that you love.
Come stay.
In. So for this one, it's kind of broken down. They have 1,120 family suites, and then they have 864 standard guest rooms. So for this one, the standard guest rooms are only the Little Mermaid standard room, which is that $136 a night, which is basically just use the courtyard, pool, or parking area, and it has 2 double beds or 1 king bed and sleeps 4 adults. Where you get to the family suites, even though, yes, it sleeps up to 6, it has views to the courtyard, pool, or parking area. This has 1 queen bed and 1 double-size table bed and 1 double-size sleeper sofa. So, yes, it sleeps a lot. All of the family suites sleep a lot. There's a Lion King family suite that also starts at $325. It has the same stuff as the Cars, even though it's just Lion King. There's a category just called family suites that you can book that is literally all the same stuff, but your theme is assigned upon check-in. So it's kind of a mystery of what you're going to get, which is, I kind of like that idea.
Right.
Even though, especially because I like both of the movies, Cars and The Lion King. Had it been an animated film maybe that I didn't like, I would go ahead and pick one. If it was cheaper than the other two, I'd pick it. But because it's the same price and I can pick which one I would want, I don't know. If it was $300 rather than $325 for the other two, yeah, I'd probably book it and just save myself $25,
Yeah.
And then they have the Finding Nemo family suites, which this one's kind of a premium price at $341. This one is right outside of the main building there. It's views of the courtyard, pool, or parking area. It's 1 queen bed, again, 1 double-sized table bed, blah, blah, blah. Sleeps up to 6. So it all the family suites are the same. It's just that what they're themed as.
I will say that the theming on the outside is pretty cool for everyone. Like Lion King has the graveyard, or the elephant graveyard. And then each one except Lion King has its own pool. So we'll get to it later. But depending on the pool and the theming, it's pretty cool.
It's definitely blew that value resort feel out of the water for this one with all of the theming. And it's funny to note too that the family suites are actually not like the Pop Century All-Star rooms where they're outside to access your door. They're inside to access your door. More of that resort feel to it. But yeah, absolutely. The theming around outside of the rooms are absolutely awesome.
Looking at the Lion King pictures, they have the tree when they're singing Hakuna Matata, and then there's like Pride Rock, and it has like all the characters. It's just, especially walking it at night when it has those lights on it, and walking past the elephant graveyard at night it gives you a creepy feel. It's very eerie walking past it.
I check my back. I guess the only thing I'll say for the rooms quickly is that me and my wife did stay at the Little Mermaid rooms and didn't like it.
Did it feel too childish?
It felt again like I was staying at All Stars.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is very interesting because you think they'd keep that feel from Pop,
right?
Which isn't the case. Again, it's 2 double beds, which is very tiny. It just I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me, which is very interesting. And it's a very, very long walk from the main building.
Oh, it's a super long walk
through it because you got to go past Nemo. You have to go through all of the Lion King, and then there's a little break, and then you get to the Little Mermaid. But yeah, we were not a fan of this. I'd be interested in trying a family suite, but
It's just too much money.
as right now, yeah, not a fan. So for dining, they have the landscapes of flavors. I said that right. It serves breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. It's a quick service. Opens a standard 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. They have the drop pool bar, which is like the drop off. So cocktails, draft beer, sangria, and wine. Open 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. and then a pizza delivery option. I will say, out of all of the quick services for the hotels, this one is the more unique of all of the options. If I had to pick a dinner or lunch option for a value resort, this would be the one. It's definitely not your typical hamburger. Even though they have that, a lot of the food isn't your typical hamburger, chicken.
I will say that the cafeteria is also cool. It has, drawings and sketches of drawings of the animated movies before they were even like actually animated. When they were drawing it just on paper and saying, what if, Radiator Springs looked like this, or the color was this. So it's cool to look around in that cafeteria and actually see like the pre-drawings to the animation.
Yeah. So for recreation, of course, they have the movies Under the Stars, which this is located between the Lion King building and the Finding Nemo building. They have a jogging trail, they have a playground, and an arcade called Pixel Play Arcade. For the pools, they have the Big Blue Pool, which is 308,000 gallons of water, which is also a zero entry pool and is the largest pool in all of Walt Disney World, which is a very interesting fact. You can also listen to your favorite Disney songs via underwater speakers at this pool, which I'm actually sad that when we stayed at the Little Mermaid, we did not swim in this pool, and that's probably the one thing I wish we would have done is swim in this pool, because it's just all of those things sound absolutely awesome. There's also the Cozy Cone Pool, which is only 74,000 gallons of water, but it's themed as the Cozy Cone Motel. That it's inspired by the Disney Pixar hit Cars. It seems like you're staying at the Cozy Cone, which is pretty
cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And then they have the Flippin' Fins Pool, which is 103,000 gallons of water, and it's just themed around it as from the Little Mermaid, same as the resort, which honestly is nothing much. It's just Little Mermaid themed, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right. So what do you want to vote this one?
This one's a tough one. I feel it's got a lot of stuff going for it, so I feel like I want to say love it, but because I've actually stayed there and did not like the Little Mermaid rooms.
See, this is the problem. There needs to be like another category that is, because it's a value hotel. Not really. The Little Mermaid rooms are value hotel, but then all the other rooms aren't really value. So it's very like, I wish the Little Mermaid rooms were almost its own hotel, and then all the other rooms were a different hotel, because these would not be considered value. They would definitely be moderate.
Yeah, especially if you're looking to stay for only 2 or 4 people.
But I will say though that out of all of the hotels, just the theming, and maybe it's because of IPs, but having all the decoration everywhere and being able to look at something and it look lifelike, that for me puts it at a love it. Just because you could walk around this hotel and see something new, something different, and actually feel like you are being put into that scene.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only way I could say love it is going off of everything but the Little Mermaid, which I'm fine with, as long as there's an asterisk next to it that says, please see note about the Little Mermaid.
Please, yeah. Love it, but also lower the prices.
Yeah, disregard the Little Mermaid. So, yeah, we can say love it with the caveat of the Little Mermaid room.
Yeah, so just to sum this all up, the All-Star Music is a hate it. The All-Star Sports is an update it. The All-Star Movies, Pop Century, and Art of Animation are all love it. If you agree with our list or disagree with our list, continue the conversation on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. let us know. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review as it helps us improve the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.